Hey guys, welcome back to OK Jank. I've not posted in a while. Been really busy with other commitments, but I'm bringing you another Vanguard deck profile today for standard format, and it's going to be Nectar. So starting with the starter, Arbros Dragon, just the same as all the others. When rolled up on draw. I'm going to go through the triggers. So 4 perfect guard draw triggers. There's going to be 4 heals, 2 normal draws, and then just crits in however, so 6 crits in the end, however you choose. Then going for Arbros Dragon Sephiroth. Just when placed, get to call a plant token. Just grade 0, 10,000 power, 10,000 shield, 1 crit, boost and intercept, and then you can retire one of your rear guards to call up to 2 plant tokens, and if you have 5 or more rear guards, it gets 10,000 power until end of turn. So the plant tokens you call, the continuous effect applies to all cards that call plant tokens, so long as that's on your Vanguard circle. And the other grade 3s running 3 Cecilia, so White Lily Musketeer Cecilia. Gonna cut this down to 2 at some point, just because you need the you really want to be going into Sephiroth with this build. So she just lets you counterblast and retire a rear guard to look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and call 2 cards from among them. And then if you've got a grade 3 in your soul, you can call 3 instead of 2, and then your front row gets 10,000 power basically. It's pretty good, but needing the grade 3 in soul and obviously not calling plant tokens, which you want because you want to keep the rest of the cards in your hand for defensive guarding and just attack with the plant tokens that are big. It just seems a little bit unnecessary. Then we've got 3 Penny Musketeer Martina. So Soul Blast 1, retire rear guard, look at top 5 cards from your deck and call 1 to rear guard and shuffle your deck. That's 1 placed on Vanguard, and then rear guard is during the turn. If it's placed from deck, it gets 5,000 power and a crit. So it's nice just because if you do ride this, then you can call this out. It's extra pressure, and it's got the force marker, but lets you, more importantly, it's the first skill that lets you retire a plant token, hopefully, to then call something else which will call you a plant token. So it's basically a soul blast for some extra power on the board, which I think is quite nice. Downside is that it needs to be on Vanguard to do that. When you would rather it was Vanguard rear guard, then you could have Sephiroth do that, and then it's even more benefit. And then got 4 of the Arbros Dragon Timber, which is the grade 2 in the Arbros kind of chain ride, which is just when placed, the next plant token you call this turn is called as grade 0, 10,000 power, 10,000 shield, 1 crit, boost and intercept, and then when placed on rear guard, you can call plant token. So it doesn't actually call a plant token when it's placed on Vanguard, which I think is a little bit disappointing, but it's really good just to thematically and to keep getting big plant tokens, which is what you want to be doing with this deck. So the next grade 2 is I'm running is 3 copies of Arbros Oliver. It's just once per turn Vanguard or rear guard, so this is the grade 2 you really want to be riding into, or calling into rear guard after you've gone into the Arbros Dragon grade 2. If the soul has 2 more cards with Arbros in the card name, you counterblast 1 and resolve one of the following, which is call 2 plant tokens to rear guard, or retire 2 rear guards, and it gets 20,000 power and crit. So it's good. It's called as rear guard or ride as Vanguard on your grade 2 is good later in the game when you can retire things and get some bigger pressure. If you've run out of things to call plant tokens, so it's the 30k to crit swing, then can be really good. I think the way that it works are sort of with this skill that it becomes a 10k, and then this calling 2. I believe they both come down as the 10k. It's probably a rule check I need to confirm before I was to take it to any tournaments. Not that I'm planning on soon. So then the next grade 2, I'm running R2 Pansy Musketeer Sylvia. When placed, you just call a plant token. I quite like this. I would run this as a 3. However, I only have 2 copies, so I'm actually running 2 copies of Spiritual Tree Sage Soul, which is when placed, you had the top 2 card. If you had 2 or more grade 0 rearguards, you can't blast one, draw a card, and all the units in the same column get 5,000 power. So it's quite nice just to have some power. However, it's the requirement that you need 2 or more grade 0s, and then it's another counter blast. You're not using a whole lot of counter blasts in the deck, but it feels a little bit unnecessary when there's cards that give you so much more benefit for free in this deck. It's not a bad thing. I mean, it draws you a card as well, which is quite good, and gets you some extra power. So then the grade 1s, I'm running for the grade 1 Arbros Branch Dragon, or Arbros Dragon Branch. Just when it attacks or the attack it hits boosted, just search for a card with Arbros in its name, put it into your hand, and then the rest go to the bottom of your deck. So kind of like the old ride chains that search themselves when rolled upon, but you just attack or boost with this and it works. It's Vanguard or Rearguard skill. Good card to have just to make sure you're getting your ride chain, so that you can get to your grade 3 when you want to be on your grade 3, and you can have them in your soul when you need them in soul. And the next card I'm running 4 Fruits Basket Elf. It's just a Soul Blast and retire this unit, call up to 2 plant tokens, and then if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, the plant tokens that you call gain 5,000 power. So that's really good, because if you have the grade 3 Arbros or the grade 2 Arbros and you they're coming down as 10k, it basically makes the plant tokens 15k for the turn that they're called. And the next cards I'm calling, I've got 3 copies of Maiden of Happy Phone. When placed, you just call a plant token, so just more benefit just for being placed. It is a rearguard only skill, which is what's a little bit lacking in the grade 1 department, other than the Arbros Dragon, is there's no Vanguard skills. And then the final card I'm running is 1 copy of Corello Dragon, which is just when your other rearguard's placed by your card's ability, it gets 3,000 power until end of turn. So it can get quite nice just to have as a boost behind your Vanguard. A couple of changes I would make, as I say, is I would add another Sylvia. I might swap it for one of the Imran Soul to run Imran Soul as 1, or I would even replace a Cecilia with it, and then I think that would make the deck a little bit more consistent at the grade 3 lineup, and at your grade 2 lineup allows you to apply some more pressure without any massive cost. I believe there are some cards in Nectar. I'm not a big Nectar player, but I believe there's some Nectar cards that do soul charge now, which would be useful, because a lot of the skills do resolve around you soul blasting for the effects. However, I don't feel it's completely necessary because the deck runs quite well as it is. Just the notes I would make, and then I'm just running 5 of each of the plant tokens because they can't be called to Vanguard, so I'm running 5 and 5 of these. So these are the not normal ones, and then these are the ones that you get with the effects basically. So yeah, they're really nice looking little things. It's a really nice mechanic that Nectar have got that Bushy Road's given them. I'd like them to do something similar with supporting the new mechanics for Genesis, but unfortunately Astral Poets is now going out of rotation, it looks like, with the Shin Monarch coming to an end. So we'll have to see what they have in store for Genesis and all the other clans, I suppose. The next set out, I believe, is the Astral Force, so it looks good for the Genesis, so I'll bring you some deck profiles on that at some point. And I just hope you guys have enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.